In chapter 17 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Konohamaru, Sarada, and Mitsuki went to the Land of Wind to team up with Yodo and Araya to carry out a plan given to them by Shikamaru. The goals of Shikamaru's plan were to defeat Matsuri and Ryu, the divine trees, and collect their Thorn Soul Bulbs after defeating them. These Thorn Soul Bulbs would be later used to free Shinki and Moegi from their trees, but as we all know, nothing ever goes as planned. In today's video, I'll speak about how Yodo's strong desire to save her friend Shinki have ruined Shikamaru's plan to defeat the divine trees, Matsuri and Ryu, in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, chapter 18. Konohamaru, Sarada, and Mitsuki were able to carry out the first part of Shikamaru's plan, which was to separate Ryu and Matsuri so they could defeat them one by one. The plan was for Konohamaru to keep Matsuri distracted as she had a crush on him, while Sarada and Mitsuki, Yodo and Araya worked together to defeat Ryu first. After that, they would join Konohamaru to help him defeat Matsuri. While in the desert of the Land of Wind, Sarada suggested that Ryu go with her and Mitsuki to search the other side of the desert for Boruto. Mitsuki also told Ryu that there were other comrades waiting in the same direction Sarada wanted them to go, and promised to introduce him to them. Ryu agreed to be separated from Matsuri after Konohamaru reassured him that he and Matsuri would stay behind and check for clues to track Boruto in their part of the desert. Sarada, Mitsuki, and Konohamaru successfully separated Ryu and Matsuri because they acted in a way that made their goals seem the same as Ryu and Matsuri's, even though it was a deception. Since both groups were searching for Boruto to defeat him, Ryu and Matsuri had no reason to suspect them. When Ryu arrived at the location where Yodo and Araya were waiting, Mitsuki introduced them to Ryu as he had promised. He told Ryu that the girl's name was Yodo and the one with the blade was Araya. However, Yodo's strong feelings about saving Shinki interfered with the mission. Instead of greeting Ryu normally like Araya did, Yodo stared at Ryu with a strong glare. This caught Ryu's attention, and he even asked Sarada if it was his imagination or if Yodo was really glaring at him. To cover up for Yodo, Sarada told Ryu that Yodo is shy and it usually takes a time to warm up to new people. Araya also noticed Ryu's reaction to Yodo's stare, so he told Yodo to tone it down and reminded her that she was not a kid anymore. Right after that, Ryu asked Mitsuki, Sarada, Yodo, and Araya about the clue that could lead to Boruto. He reminded Sarada and Mitsuki that they told him they had seen something in the desert. Sarada became nervous as shown by her sweating and stuttering, saying, oh right, we did, didn't we? Before she could finish speaking, Ryu started using his iron scent, spreading it through the area where they were in. This immediately caught Mitsuki's attention. Noticing what Ryu was doing with his iron scent, Sarada asked him what he was doing. Ryu explained that he was spreading his iron scent, which was his detection ability. By doing this, Ryu could gather information about the area. He also told Sarada that he was going to search the surroundings with his iron scent, and if Boruto was nearby, he would find him quickly. Ryu was smart. He made sure to spread his iron scent to Yodo to learn about her true intentions. With his ability, he sensed that Yodo had an extremely strong bloodlust, far beyond normal. This confirmed his suspicions that something was wrong. Yodo tried to hide her true intentions by telling Ryu not to worry about it, saying that she was always like that. She even tried to explain that all ninjas are the same. However, Ryu did not seem convinced by her excuse. Realizing what was happening, Mitsuki stepped in to take control of the situation. He asked Ryu a question, telling him that Konoha village considers Boruto a criminal, which is why they were hunting him down. Then Mitsuki asked Ryu why the divine trees, including Ryu himself, were also searching for Boruto. Ryu answered that he didn't fully understand the reason himself, but Jura told him that Boruto knows too much about the Thorn Soul Bulbs and many other things. In short, Boruto had become a problem for them, so Jura decided that Boruto must be killed. That was the reason Ryu and Matsuri were hunting Boruto down. When Sarada heard Ryu mention the Thorn Soul Bulb, she acted surprised and told Ryu that she thought she remembered Boruto talking about them. She then suggested using a Thorn Soul Bulb as a bait to lower Boruto out and asked what Ryu thought about the idea. Ryu stayed calm and said that he understood Sarada's suggestion. He even said that it was super smart thinking from her. Then Ryu took the Thorn Soul Bulb out of his body and made it float in the air. At the same time, he made sure not to remove his iron scent from Yodo. As the Thorn Soul Bulb floated, Ryu spoke to himself, saying, "Now then, let's see if they bite." Without hesitation, Yodo jumped into the air to grab the Thorn Soul Bulb, but before she could take it, Ryu used his iron scent to control her body, making it impossible for her to move. Ryu then told Yodo that he caught her and added that he suspected this would happen. When he said, "I thought this might be the case," he meant that he had doubted her all along. From the moment Yodo glared at him instead of greeting him, Ryu felt something was off. He became even more suspicious when he used his iron scent detection ability and sensed that Yodo's bloodlust was far stronger than normal. Instead of believing Yodo's excuse, Ryu set up a trap. He pretended to go along with Sarada's plan and took out the Thorn Soul Bulb. But when Yodo jumped for it immediately, Ryu knew for sure that she had other intentions. This confirmed his suspicions. When Mitsuki realized that Ryu saw right through Yodo's intentions, he thought to himself that Ryu was not as dumb as he acted. But before Mitsuki could react, Ryu covered him, Sarada and Araya in iron scent to control their bodies as well. Once Ryu trapped them all, he told them that what they did was really low and that the betrayal was going to give him serious trauma. He then told them that he thought they needed to be punished. Ryu controlled their bodies with iron scent, making them move however he wanted. Sarada, Mitsuki and Yodo became like puppets under his control. Ryu forced Sarada and Yodo towards each other, trying to make them attack one another. Before Ryu could succeed, Araya used a technique that neutralized and dispelled the iron scent manipulation over Sarada, Mitsuki and Yodo. This freed them and let them take back control of their bodies. The technique Araya used was called Lodestone Scent Sealing Blade. This was a jutsu Araya developed to team up with Shinki, who had been devoured by the Ten Tails. Shinki was also the base model for Ryu, which meant that Ryu only existed as a divine tree because of Shinki. Araya never expected that he would need to use this jutsu in this way, but he realized he had no choice. He knew he had to use it in the upcoming fight against Ryu to stand a chance of defeating him. The result of the battle between Ryu and Sarada, Mitsuki and Yodo and Araya will be seen in the next chapters of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex manga after this video is recorded. Yodo's actions made it difficult to carry out Shikamaru's plan because she ignored the key principles of deception and psychological warfare. Shikamaru's strategy was based on winning through deception and playing the perfect courtier, pretending to be allies with Ryu and Matsuri until they let their guard down. This would allow them to betray the divine trees at the right moment and take their Thorn Soul Bulbs to free Shinki and Moegi. However, Yodo's emotional reactions and lack of self-control exposed their true intentions too soon. Great strategists always hide their real intentions by acting friendly with their enemies. This was exactly what Shikamaru's plan needed. Konohamaru, Sarada, Mitsuki, Yodo and Araya had to pretend that they shared the same goal as Ryu and Matsuri, hunting Boruto. The aim was to gain their trust before betraying them at the right time. However, Yodo ruined this by showing clear hostility towards Ryu. Instead of greeting him normally, she gave him a strong glare, which made him suspicious right away. This was a huge mistake because first impressions matter in deception. When you are trying to fool someone, you must be subtle and play the role well. Yodo failed at this, making it obvious that something was not right. One of the key tactics in war is to distract the enemy with false information while hiding your real plan. Sarada and Mitsuki were doing this well. They convinced Ryu that they were only there to help track Boruto, giving him no reason to suspect betrayal. However, Yodo's bloodlust was too strong, and when Ryu used his scent detection ability, he sensed it instantly. By failing to control her emotions, Yodo exposed herself as an enemy, breaking the illusion that the group was friendly. This forced Ryu to test them by using the Thorn Soul Bulb as a bait, which led to Yodo falling into his trap. If she had played along instead of reacting emotionally, they could have continued manipulating Ryu until they found the perfect moment to strike. Shikamaru's plan was to attack when the enemy was least prepared. The goal was to fight Ryu and Matsuri after they trusted the group, not while they were still alert, but Yodo gave herself away, making Ryu suspicious and causing him to set his own trap. He used his iron scent to control Yodo's body, exposing her betrayal and forcing him to capture Sarada, Mitsuki and Araya too. Instead of being the ones who launched the attack, they became the ones under attack. Yodo's strong desire to save Shinki clouded her judgment. Instead of following the plan and playing along, she let her emotions take over, which ruined everything. Her lack of self-control forced Araya to reveal his special jutsu too early to free them, meaning the group is now in a bad position. They have to fight Ryu when he's already expecting betrayal. If Yodo had stayed calm, they could have chosen the perfect moment to strike. But now, they must fight on Ryu's terms, which will make the upcoming battles against him in the next manga chapters much harder.